So my drawing, of course, I always start with a very loose little sketch. Today we are going to paint these pretty little betta fish. So I paint a lot of fish, by the way. I paint a lot of fish. I am also an astrologer, which, by the way, if you are interested in the astrological side of my business, you can follow me at Twin Fox Astrology on YouTube or on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I have pages on all of those platforms. But we just entered the season of Pisces, and I am a Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Mercury, so I'm a triple Pisces. And so I paint a lot of Pisces art. That's just something I make a lot of. I really think the imagery is it's just really pretty. You know, these flowing little fishies. And so it suits my style as an artist as well, just the Pisces archetype and imagery. So I do paint a lot of it. But that's what I'm painting today. It doesn't have to be symbolizing the astrological anything. I do just really like these fish. So yeah. So I'm using a little bit of the cerulean, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that. Cerulean blue hue, and oh gosh, I'm completely spacing on the green, but it's the green color right next to it. Oh my goodness, what is that color name? I don't have my reference here. But I've mixed that green with a tad of blue. Or I'm sorry, I've mixed that green with a little bit of the Payne's gray, just a touch, to kind of just deepen the green a little bit. And I'm just layering this, making it look pretty and interesting, giving it a little depth to the waters that we're in here. So a little bit of burnt sienna. A little bit of the rose hue. I'm just trying to create a peachy, pinky, reddish color here. So just playing back and forth between these colors and the cadmium red. There's a little bit of that in there, just to kind of make this super soft peachy color. We're just painting the little fins now. And I'm going to deepen this a little bit with this cadmium red and the rose hue, mixing those two just to kind of brighten it a little bit. Filling in the body. I do have a reference photo that I'm using to kind of see where, you know, these colors kind of lay out. Something I do as an artist is, or that helps me as an artist, and I recommend this to anybody who, you know, has any, I don't want to say that actually. So something I do to help me create reference photos is I happen to be able to create like digital artwork as well. So I personally use Canva, and I will create like a digital image to help me sort of lay out like the where everything's gonna go. I'm really spacing on words today, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, just to help me sort of lay out where everything's gonna go. There's a specific word for this, and I am totally missing it. You know what I mean? And it just helps me to understand where everything's gonna go in my painting. I like to kind of play with colors in there too. Sometimes, I mean, I do actually make digital art too. I share more of that on my astrology page. I make a lot of digital art on that side of things. Try to keep my main art page just my paintings and stuff. But yeah, I like to explore in the digital world as well. And I mainly started doing that to create reference photos, but some of them end up looking pretty cool, and so I do that too. I am a like multi, I guess, passionate, creative person, you could say. But yeah, you'll see me there blotting out the colors with the paper towel. If you ever, I always keep a paper towel like close by or even in my other hand while I'm working, so that if I make mistakes, I can just pick them up really fast. You do have to be quick. My style of painting is very loose. It's very, I think that, you know, it's not super precise and perfect. And so it's little mistakes. I can just blend those in other ways, but yeah, so we're just working on these fins here, with this lot of Viridian Hue for the tails, for the fins. So I'm just creating the flow in the tail here on this one. Drawing in the eyes, I'm just using Payne's gray with that. Just deepening the reds. I apologize you can't see what I'm doing here. Maybe someday I will be able to get other cameras so that I can record from multiple angles, but for now I'm just able to record from one camera overhead. I wanted to deepen the water color around the fish, so that's what's next. Just kind of going around him. Remembering to just, I use a bigger wet brush to just kind of blend that out so it looks a little more natural. Viridian Hue. Okay. Viridian Hue, that's the color here. I almost said that, but then it seemed wrong, but no, that's what it is. I just looked it up. It's Viridian Hue. Kind of creating a really just more precise line around the edge of the fish, just to immerse them a little bit more in the water. I really like this green color, Viridian Hue. Going even deeper here. I'm just using a big brush to sort of blend that out every time I do that, so it's not too much of like a contrast between the brush paint and the last coat of paint. So I'll just add this deeper layer and then blend it out with the wet brush. I just thought it needed more color, more vibrancy. And I just have a wet paper towel handy. You can just pick up paint. Just adding little pools of paint here to kind of add a little bit of depth to the water in different areas. And I've got my Winsor Newton white calligraphy ink. And so this is where we enter the kind of experimental phase of this painting. I don't dislike how it is so far, but I thought it needed something more interesting. So I take this white ink and I'm going to add some highlights, of course. And if you've never watched my videos before, I've mentioned this a few times, but I'll keep mentioning it in case you're judging my watercolor skills. But I'm still sort of learning watercolors and playing with them. And I've come from painting in acrylics. I've always gone dark to light, and so watercolor is like a whole new experience where you're working essentially backwards, and sometimes I just can't wrap my brain around it quite yet. So but I like the look of it, and so I still have to come in and I'll add highlights here and there with this calligraphy ink, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the little fish here. Making him a little more shiny. Okay, and I was wrong. This is not the experimental phase quite yet. I get to an experimental phase with this painting, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Right now I'm just adding the light to this fish here with a super duper tiny brush. Okay, adding light to the sky, moving on to him. Detailing out the tips of his fins here. And I've got this is my gold paint, metallic gold. Okay, and the silver, I also scored out a little bit of silver metallic, and I don't end up using that, just so you know, but since this is sped up, this is like literally just moments of this. But yeah, I tried seeing what it would look like with the silver hue on the fish, and I don't think I liked this once I kind of got through it. Trying the gold now. This looked better actually, so I kind of kept this and went over the silver. So I thought I'd just add some like little gold dots. I'm being kind of random with them now. This is where it gets a little experimental, because I do end up changing things I'm trying white dots. I do like to create sparkle effects, and I wasn't really sure how I wanted this to look. So I'm just kind of experimenting right now. By the way, this gold is also Winsor Newton, gold metallic, yellow gold metallic. Creating little sparkly effects here. Again, super tiny brush. And this little spot here that I'm making, this doesn't last. I don't like it. And I immediately changed my mind. And I'll show you how I fix that here in just a second. This gold paint it's a little different. It doesn't quite pick up as quickly or as easily as the non-metallic colors, but I did fix this. So I'm just kind of creating these little dots here, little sparkle effects in the water. Deepening the water a little bit because I do like the way this gold looks, so I'm creating more deeper waters for me to create more gold specks. And sometimes I just work this way. I just sort of will do a small area on my painting and just be like, okay, I like this, I'm gonna do more. So that's what's going on here. I realized I really liked the gold on the green and needed some more green to work with. You can barely see my little gold mistake I made, so that's how you do that. There are no mistakes, as Mr. Bob Ross would say. We just turn them into things. But I really liked this green. I was really enjoying this green. I just thought it was so pretty. Alright, taking the white ink, and now I'm kind of following along the lines of the watercolor to create this sort of wave look, or, you know, like the white of the waters. This was also just a little experiment, and I just thought it ended up looking really pretty. It's easy to go overboard with this, so if you're gonna try this out, less is more, I would say. But I was pretty happy with how this came out. Just again using a very small brush, very lightly sort of squiggling the paint around. And I decided to kind of attach the two fish with with a string attached. That is the symbol of Pisces. Thickening some of these lines and making them a little bit more wave-like. So now I'm going to add, I think, the finishing touches, which are, oh, I still have more to do. I'm just adding a little more shadow here. A little bit more contrast to the fish. Yes, I'm pretty satisfied with this one, how it came out. Last minute details here. I'm going to add some more gold here in just a moment to finish this up. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this, I would appreciate it if you'd like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things, because that really helps my channel. Let me know what you'd like to see me paint. Let me know the ways you think I can do better. Like I said, I'm working with the equipment that I have. I do hope I can upgrade eventually. But yeah. And also, if you're interested, you can follow me on my social accounts at Stephanie Weiss Art on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And also, if you're interested in my astrology side of things, you can follow me at Twin Fox Astrology on YouTube, and also Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. I super duper appreciate it, and I like connecting with you all. A few last minute touches on this thing. But I'm pretty happy with this one. few little white spots here, just a few more sparkles in the water. I just added the white on the lighter parts and the gold on the darker green parts of the water. And trying to be super careful here. One of my sort of weaknesses as an artist is to go a little overboard. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. But I think I did it all right this time. One last little touch I did, once I added these lines, the white in the water, I realized, okay, it would make more sense to have just a very, very thin white outline of the fish. So that's the last little thing I'm doing here, is just kind of lining the fish in a very, very, very super duper thin layer of white. That's it, folks. I hope you have enjoyed this, painting these little fish with me. I thank you so much for being here.